Okay, we're starting our second segment. I'll be preaching. In this second segment, I'm just going to read the middle verse of our opening text, John 14:2. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not true so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. I'm telling you, when we think about people going on a trip on a boat or something like that, or going on vacation, they make arrangements, don't they? They got to pay in advance, got to secure that boat ride, got to secure the motel or whatever they're going to stay in. Wherever they're going, they've got to secure and carry enough of the right stuff with them to make it, because they not only want to go, they want to come back home. They want to complete their trip successful. Well, with the Lord, we don't have the luxury of coming back. It's not a round trip. It is a round trip in the sense that after the Lord deals with people that are left behind, He will bring us back to rule and reign for 1,000 years. And I guess in that sense, we could figure on coming back. But reading from Matthew 25:1, then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. We got to realize in serving God, we've got to make preparations to endure all the way to the end. And as I told you in the last segment, we are known as the bride of Christ, lively stones built up in a spiritual house, and we are a body of believers. And in the body, there's different parts to the body, and parts that are like the hand cannot say to the part of the foot, I don't need you in my body, because they're needed. Every one of us are needed. The Lord wants us to feel that place that we have with Him and that job He's given us to do. But you know, not everybody's going to serve God in a true and righteous manner. And they'll go along and they'll get excited about serving God, but they won't prepare for the long haul. They won't prepare for days that they go without feeling so much spirit and so much power. And they won't carry no oil in their lamps. Oil in your lamps you're carrying in case while you're not aware or while you are asleep, you run out of oil. So you got to prepare yourself so that you'll have enough oil. If you're in a hurricane and you've not prepared to keep enough oil for your hurricane lamps, you can see that illustration pretty quick. When you run out of oil, you're in the dark. Well, in a Jewish marriage, the groom would come and meet the bride, and then he would go away to prepare a place for his bride. And he would come again, and in that bridal celebration, it would last a few days, usually 3 or 4 up to 7 days. Didn't always last 7 days, but it wasn't no short time either. They had a celebration. And in that period of time, they had to be ready, and they had to come out to meet the bridegroom and go with them to the celebration. It was not a thing where they just come and were swept off their feet. No, they had to make preparations to go. And in those preparations to go, they had to go forth. And they had to go out with expectation to meet the bridegroom. There was 5 foolish in this story that didn't have enough preparation to go out with that expectation to meet the bridegroom. They had to go out and be concerned about getting there. You know, when you're never concerned about what you have to do to get there, you won't prepare your heart for a long haul. You won't prepare to move out for God and do His will. If you're careless with your relationship with God, you'll let things slip. Well, all 10 of these people that were a part of the bridegroom party, all 10 of them slept. All 10 virgins. But the ones that slept, that prepared for that time, where they'd go through that time of laxity or whatever, they had carried oil in their lamps and oil in some vessels. In other words, they'd carried enough to go through. They got enough strength with God to endure troubles and trials and to be able to endure to the end. In Matthew 24, it says, "The same that endure to the end, the same shall be saved." And we got to realize sometimes we're expecting to just go on happy-go-lucky and get in by the skin of our teeth, so to speak. But it don't work with God. He said, if any man will follow me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me. So it's a time of struggle, a time of striving to enter in. He said, strive to enter in the straight gate, because straight is the way, and straight is the gate, and narrow is the way that leadeth to life everlasting. But he said, wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many be that go in thereat. So you see, you got to settle in your own heart and in your own mind that you're going to be ready. No matter what the cost, you got to be ready for this day. This is the most important day of everybody's life here on earth, is to be ready when you're going to meet the Lord. Some people are taken out by death. Some are going to be taken away in what we call the rapture. But the thing is, you got to have enough of God to be prepared. Well, if He comes and calls your number and takes you home, you got to be ready then. Once that tree falls, whatever way it falls, that's the way it's going to lie. That's what it says in the book of Ecclesiastes. He said there's no discharge in this warfare. We all face it. And if we don't prepare to serve the Lord with all our heart, we're not going to make it. This is the end of the second set of scriptures. And Brother Johnny, if you want me to play a song, I will, or...
Sure, go ahead and play one.
Okay. I'll start a song. Let me stop the video first.